Hello, welcome to Finance Viral and Tech.
Petition for more cash. Almost 3 million people have signed a petition calling for recurring stimulus checks worth up to $2,000 to be introduced. The Change.org petition that was launched last year by restaurant owner Stephanie Bonin has topped 2.9 million signatures. She wrote, "Our country is still deeply struggling. The recovery hasn't reached many Americans. The true unemployment rate for low-wage workers is estimated at over 20%, and many people face large debts from last year for things like utilities, rent, and child care." She continued, "Moving forward, Congress needs to make recurring checks automatic if certain triggers are met. No more waiting around for our government to send the help we need. Teachers get extra stimulus." Earlier this year, teachers and members of staff pocketed an extra $1,000 in districts across Georgia. In February, teachers in Michigan received $500 as part of the MI Classroom Heroes grants proposal, media reported. More than $50 million was dedicated for teachers, and around $20 million was set aside for support staff. Marylanders get extra cash. In Maryland, legislation was passed to send stimulus checks to both individuals and families. The extra cash is only available to those who claimed the Earned Income Tax Credit on their tax returns, which is a credit targeted at low and moderate income earners. A married couple with 2 children only qualifies if their income is below about $53,000. Individual residents will receive $300, while couples who file jointly will receive $500. New York sets up stimulus fund. New York has set up a $2.1 billion excluded workers fund to help those who are not eligible for unemployment benefits, including undocumented workers. To be in line for the cash, New Yorkers must have an income under $26,208 for 2020. Meanwhile, local artists in New York City will also receive help in the form of a $5,000 check in October, reports CBS Media. Calls for help. Calls for assistance exploded fourfold as Americans sought information about stimulus checks and tax relief. Over the most recent tax filing season, only 3% of the 85 million calls to the IRS 1040 line reached a telephone assister, according to the National Taxpayer Advocate report. The IRS call overload has worsened in recent weeks as the October 15 tax extension deadline looms, with many Americans seeking last-minute advice. California ITIN checks. There is a special $1,000 checks for taxpayers in California with an individual taxpayer identification number. Americans that use ITINs are not eligible to claim federal stimulus payments. Californians are encouraged to check the Franchise Tax Board portal as they wait to receive their check. Most are expected to receive a $600 check, but some Americans will receive a $500 or $1,100 payment. The majority of state stimulus payments will be sent out by direct deposit, and they should arrive between now and October 15, according to media. But those who filed their tax return after August 20 are likely to face a wait of around 4 to 5 days so their check can be processed. Some towns in Texas get extra cash. Many teachers in Texas received bonuses at the start of the school year, according to CBS Dallas-Fort Worth. The extra checks were approved by individual school districts, including Irving and Denton. Teachers in Irving will get a one-time payment of $2,000, while Denton employees will get a $500 retention bonus. Other school districts in Texas have approved pay rises in a bid to reward teachers for their efforts during the pandemic. New Mexico helps low-income residents. A state stimulus program has been established and set aside $5 million to send in stimulus checks to New Mexicans who did not qualify for the 3 federal relief payment tax refund backlog. The Internal Revenue Service has warned some might experiencing delays in their tax refund. The reason is that the agency is currently experiencing a massive backlog of 8.5 million unprocessed individual returns. According to CNET, The IRS announced it had 8.5 million unprocessed returns, including 2020 returns with errors and amended returns that require corrections or special handling. Moreover, the agency has also to sort stimulus checks, child tax credit payments, and refunds for tax overpayment on unemployment benefit. According to a National Taxpayer Advocate review, the pandemic, 3 rounds of stimulus payments, paper-filed returns, and new tax laws and credits created a perfect storm. And despite the IRS being open processing mail, tax returns, payments, refunds, and correspondence, limited resources continue to cause delays. If you have filed for the Earned Income Tax Credit or additional child tax credit, or if your refund is suspected of identity theft or fraud, it could also mean it will be delayed. The plus-up stimulus adjustments and the next round of the $300 child tax credit payments could definitely help struggling families, but an overdue tax refund would be an even bigger help. California checks going out. $600 stimulus checks are being sent out today to California residents through the mail. Approximately 375,000 paper checks will be issued in the coming weeks, according to Andrew LePage, a representative with the state's tax agency. Even non-parents can receive child tax credit. When it comes to child tax credits, a Democrat plan would award the money to whoever is caring for the child, regardless of whether they're related. This flexibility would accommodate people in various living situations, as researchers claim hundreds of thousands of children do not qualify for the benefits because they live with a family friend, for example. Nobody can claim kids who are being raised by someone who is not a close relative. Those kids just get cut off from the break entirely, said Jacob Golden, a former Treasury official who now teaches at Stanford University's law school. The proposal was previously approved as part of a massive package of tax and spending changes, but could cause IRS enforcement complications. Maryland farm workers and meat packers can expect to receive some payments from about $700 million set aside to aid them. Grocery store workers will also receive money from a fund of about $20 million set up by the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. A whopping $700 million has been set aside by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to compensate staff who incurred unexpected costs, such as having to purchase their own PPE and taking unpaid leave. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack announced the bonuses earlier this month, applauding the social and economic achievement of workers who kept food on the table. They deserve recognition for their resilience and financial support for their efforts to meet personal and family needs while continuing to provide essential services, Vilsack said. This grant program is another component of this administration's efforts to ensure assistance to alleviate the effects of the pandemic is distributed to those who need it most. 6 months after Americans received their third economic stimulus check, President Joe Biden is under pressure to automate any future stimulus payments. No vote would be necessary for payments to go out. The payments would be triggered by financial indicators like rising unemployment rates. The program would sidestep the political battles that have prevented President Biden from successfully issuing a fourth check. Leave comments below. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.